Hello YouTube land, my name is Kesselcaden, and today we're going to be showcasing the Tectonic Slam Jug. This guy is tanky. This is double Nebulock, double Combs Way, Zoph's Blood, Combs Roots, and a decent helm with -9 fire res. The resistances aren't even capped, but when you hit anything, you gain 9 endurance charges and your resistances are fine. So at any point, the most dangerous part of the map is literally just at the very beginning. You don't really have to worry about that though, because again, I can't stress this enough, this is probably my tankiest character, and I did Uber Elder Deathless on it, and it was just easy peasy, compared to like other builds. So normally if I want to do like all the deeps, I would switch out my Ancestral Protector into a Vol Ancestral Warchief for the boys. But for mapping purposes, I just kind of prefer having Blood Rage up and whatnot, and Ancestral Protector, and it just goes through rather fast. There's not any point where I feel like this is in any way going to be in any danger, which is great. The downsides of this build, though, is it's not exactly the fastest farmer, but if you're tired of dying and losing 10% of your XP at higher levels, well, you don't have to worry about it. I had full stacks of blood, by the way. I didn't even realize it, that my HP was even going down, because it really wasn't. The only reason why I noticed it was because I looked at the top bar and was like, oh, I have 19 fleet stacks. Let's fix that. But yeah, I'll go over some of the things for this build in a second. As soon as we finish up this map, I'll go over some of my choices and where to go from this build there. I'll show the skill tree. Overall, it is a tanky build. I can't not stress that enough. I don't think once I've set this up properly, I don't think I've died at all. I was hoping to try to build up a few more bleed stacks there, but that's okay. And if at any point your Blood Rage just disappears, well, you know, just recast. Same with your Ancestral Protector. I might actually try to change up my setup so that I get cast while damage taken setup with at least a weaker Ancestral Protector, so I don't have to keep recasting it all the time. But overall, this is easy mode. It handles Legion relatively well. It's not the fastest, but it's not the slowest. It handles Betrayal content, it handles Abyss, it handles, you know, Breaches. It does everything. And literally I could just sit here and not take any damage at all and still manage to, like, yeah, still managed to kill it. I was not even really paying attention. I was just kind of like goofing off, and I took literally 0 damage. The endurance charges last 19 seconds or 18 seconds, or that's an obscenely long amount of time for endurance charges to actually kick in. And I'll just show you during this, you're well over cap, and I'm at 80% because again I have this set up for Uber Elder, so I have Combs Roots as well as I believe Purity of Ice here. I know I could do Fortify, but I have Fortify in my main setup, and I'd prefer a dedicated Fortify. Some of my other choices, let's see, Cast while damage taken at level 1. Wave of Conviction, which is actually kind of cool. It does increase your damage quite a bit. Molten Shell, 10,000 HP Molten Shell. It's great, especially when it pops. And increased duration, which is nice. Alternatively, I might try to remove increased duration, because this happens, like, this procs a lot, cast when damage taken at level 1. I might try to do an Ancestral Protector in that slot, and then actually have my Ancestral Warchief so I can build up the stacks. So I get the best of both worlds, technically. Except, obviously, when cast when damage taken during boss fights happens, it will nullify the Ancestral Warchief, so that's a bit of an issue. However, I'm sure we could come up with something other than that, but increased duration is a very nice quality of life there. Blood Rage, obvious. I don't want to bring it up any higher. I can't. I'm running out of decks. But Blood Rage at level 11 is still quite nice. It does add more extra attack speed, as well as physical damage, leeched as life. Overall, it's not bad. You don't even feel it. The fact that you also can gain Frenzy charges is quite a bonus. Combustion support with Ancestral Protector. Now, I had Ancestral Warchief there, and with that, that does increase your damage quite a bit with Combustion automatically in there. And on top of that, Herald of Ash. Not even quality, not even quality, not even quality. Again, I do have Clarity there. Now, one of the things that I will mention is that I did manage to get the socket attacks have -15 to total mana cost. It's not needed. I was doing it without, but as soon as I got this double slam of maim and total mana cost, it was amazing. The difference was night and day. And I was actually extremely lucky with this one because if you look at the chest, it's plus 13% maximum mana, or maximum life. Now, the way that I did that was I managed to actually get a double roll of this. So I got it in Subterranean and also the Eldritch one. So unfortunately, I got a Tier 2 Eldritch, but if I would have hit Tier 1, that would have been good. The only thing that's realistically missing from this, unfortunately, is no maximum or maximum life gained on kill. But you know what? I don't need it. I honestly don't need it. Overall, the tree is relatively simple. This is actually similar to like a RF setup, in all honesty. I didn't have to regret many orbs. This was my RF chieftain. I eventually, like, the only thing that was different was it was going along this outside border, where now I'm going on the inside just for, you know, the extra reduced mana cost, which was, again, a very nice quality of life. From here on out, basically just aiming for more life and more reduction to mana costs, just so more quality of life can occur. Realistically, this build is pretty much done. And it's not even like level 95, and it did Uber Elder just fine. So, I don't know what else I could say, realistically. Like, yeah, I might want to get some more jewels, but, and, like, upgrade my jewels. My jewels aren't exactly the best, but, I mean, they're pretty damn good. Um, they're not, I mean, I can probably get rid of that +3 life and have something else there as, like, a best in slot. I like adding attack speed, just so I can actually get more attack speed, so I don't have to necessarily go into, what is it, multi-strike? I haven't tested out multi-strike in this build. I like the big hits. I like the big slams. It's different. It's a different type of build. I'm not used to not worrying about dying, which is weird. I think I only died once I switched into this. Actually, I think I mentioned that I didn't die. I died once, but it's because I was streaming and I wasn't really paying attention. And I was just sitting in poison. My endurance charges were gone and I blood raged, and I was just kind of looking over, thinking that I had endurance charges, but I didn't. Beyond that, this thing is a beast. It is definitely hardcore viable if you're actually paying attention. I don't know what else I can say. The thing that's in here is a lethal pride. The reason why I'm doing this one specifically is life regeneration per second. Where's this? Increased effective fortify. Fortify is also good, especially as it's a dedicated fortify. Attack damage leeches life, which is why I didn't necessarily need the other leech that I was talking about earlier. Another 1% life. That one didn't hit. Stun duration on enemies, and I do tend to stun, plus another 1% life regen. So that's like 3% life regen plus effect, like a fortify effect, plus leech. That's actually a really good jewel. So yeah, from here on out, what is this? I think this is, yeah, only a level 94. If as soon as I take this to like level 97, 98, all I'm basically going to be doing is just going for more life nodes everywhere. So 6% life is probably my next one, and then probably going to be grabbing potentially that just for more armor, just so I can feel the tankiness a little bit better. And I don't want to say there's actually not much more. The damage is fine. Shaper DPS is about 2.4 once endurance charges are in, and once you have your ancestral war chiefs out. And as soon as a wave of conviction hits, it applies the fire, and just more DPS all over. So sometimes, though, I will say this, I don't like necessarily using Blood Rage while in a boss fight, and I know that's counterintuitive because, I mean, you hit more, you leech more, etc., etc. I don't like having to wait, or I don't like having to get affected by the degen if I'm in a boss fight and if my endurance charges start dropping for whatever reason, if I'm doing charge hits. However, I haven't had an issue, in all honesty. I've done most of the bosses. I've done Uber Elder. I've done Shaper multiple times. And with this build, I haven't had any issues. The fact that I'm also running Purity of Ice with a Combs Route shows off that, you know, this is kind of prepped almost for Uber Elder. So, hardcore viable. Path of Building down below. The inspiration of this is actually from a hardcore thread, and I'll link that below as well in the description. And yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed. If you want a tanky boy, this would be it. And I don't think this is getting nerfed or anything. It's not overpowered. It's not like the 20 million Slayer Cyclone DPS that's been going around. But it's pretty good. And again, you can play around with this. Like, I have Endurance Charge on melee stun, and the reason why I'm doing that there is basically like, I don't know, 30 something percent more damage because it's 4% more damage per Endurance Charge. You can definitely play around with adding multi-strike there. You can definitely play around doing other things and just seeing how it feels. If it's better for you, go ahead and do it. This build can feel different in many ways, but still be pretty powerful. It's kind of flexible. I like that about this build. Anyway, I hope you guys have enjoyed. Leave a comment down below, subscribe to my channel, leave a like on the video. Don't forget the most important part. Have fun.